Welcome back to NOI NewsOnlineIncome, where we pull the plug on big tech illusions and expose the stories that make Silicon Valley sweat. Today's story is so wild, it sounds like a Netflix thriller. We're diving into how a startup with a pretend AI managed to trick the biggest tech players, including Microsoft, and walked away with $1.5 billion. No, seriously, it happened. Let's break down how fake intelligence turned into real money. Picture this. 2021, Dubai. Microsoft executives are on a video call with a startup founder named Sachin Dev Duggal, pitching a magical AI named Natasha. Natasha could supposedly create fully functional apps just from a few spoken commands. No coding, no engineers, just talk, and boom, your app is ready. Sounds like Siri got a PhD in computer science, right? Microsoft was impressed. They didn't just nod politely, they opened their wallets. Tens of millions flowed in. But here's the twist. While Natasha was giving her voiceover demo, hundreds of developers across India were doing the actual work, manually coding every single feature. Natasha? She was just a voice, like Alexa at a costume party pretending to be Tony Stark. This story really began in 2016 in London, when Duggal introduced a company called engineer.ai at a tech event. The pitch? Anyone could build an app using just their voice. No devs, no hassle. Just choose features, click a button, and Natasha does the rest. It was rebranded as Builder.ai, and suddenly Natasha was the star. At public demos, she appeared to code apps in real time. But backstage, developers were sweating bullets to meet deadlines. It was theater, high-tech puppet theater. What's worse? The company boosted their image with glowing reviews, some allegedly written by employees, and client lists that included names who never even worked with them. Despite all the smoke and mirrors, the show worked. Investors poured in: SoftBank, Insight Partners, Qatar Investment Authority, and yes, Microsoft. Over the next few years, Builder.ai raised around $445 million, all while still relying on real people to manually do everything Natasha was credited for. In 2023, Duggal was even named UK Entrepreneur of the Year by Ernst & Young. That's like giving an Oscar to someone who deep-faked the entire movie. By 2019, former employees started talking. The Wall Street Journal ran a piece exposing the truth. Natasha was as real as a hologram at a family reunion. Still, the company insisted AI was under development and needed human help. Investors nodded, journalists shrugged, and the illusion marched on. But inside the company, things were unraveling. Projects were delayed. Some clients never got a product, and those massive revenues they bragged about, yeah, fake too. Internal docs showed their actual income was just $55 million, not the $220 million they claimed. So where did the money go? According to Financial Times, a large chunk of it might have been blown on corporate bling. Business class flights, five-star hotels, expensive branding campaigns, even flashy parties in Dubai. It's like Builder.ai was auditioning for the Wolf of Silicon Valley. Even worse, there were whispers about funds moving offshore. Cue dramatic music. The books stopped adding up. And just as the facade was crumbling, Duggal quietly resigned to focus on strategy. Translation: to avoid lawsuits. Turns out, Duggal wasn't building this empire alone. His co-founder Saurabh Dut had deep family ties to Videocon, a conglomerate embroiled in a massive banking fraud scandal worth $400 million. As media attention around Videocon resurfaced, Saurabh's name popped up again, this time tied to allegations of money laundering. One major backer, Viola Credit, demanded an audit. What they got instead was more PR fluff. Viola didn't buy it. In January 2025, they froze $37 million in funding. At that point, Builder.ai had just $5 million left. For a unicorn startup, that's not a runway, it's a cliff. By early 2025, clients were furious. Orders weren't being delivered, contractors threatened lawsuits, and employees started jumping ship. In April, Indian authorities finally issued an arrest warrant for Duggal. His buddy Saurabh became an official defendant in a fraud case. Both vanished, their social media profiles went dark, and their last known location, the UAE. Classic move. In May 2025, Builder.ai filed for bankruptcy. All assets frozen, thousands of clients left hanging, no refunds, no apps, just vaporware and regret. So what was Builder.ai really? A con wrapped in a buzzword burrito, a fake AI with a charming voice and no coding skills, used to lure in billions from investors too dazzled by tech hype to check under the hood. And Natasha, she was never intelligent, just artificial. At NOI NewsOnlineIncome, we'll keep digging into stories like this so you don't get fooled by the next Silicon Valley fairy tale. If you found this story as unbelievable as we did, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who still thinks AI can do everything. Spoiler, it can't. At least, not yet.